Hey, what's good? Someone sent me a video related to this story, and I found out it was kind of true. So I wanted to watch this with you because it reminded me of one of my favorite movies, The Matrix. This is The Prison of the Future, Cognify. I'm going to be working on an animation. Better said, I'm going to be trying to work on an animation. Never done this, the whole recording and animating thing. I don't know if my brain is going to work that way. We'll find out together. Before we get into it, remember to go to coconutjustice.com to get you some clothes that I think would look good on you. Let's go. All right. Prisons of the Future. Oh, before we get into it, right now, if you look on top of me or above me is my Cintiq. And on there, I have Blender. I've been working on an animation. I'm going to try really hard not to show you guys too much. But, you know, it's going to be cool when it's done. I started working on this a couple months ago. And now I'm at the point of my animation process where I'm excited to get this thing done. So I'm going to be reacting to way more videos, trying to get this thing out the door. And you might be wondering about the kids book that's on there too, but I wanted to work on this. Besides, I felt a little weird saying all the bad words that I say while working on a kids book. But again, it's not the words you use, it's the intention in which you use them. I try to teach people. I get a little loose with the language, but whatever. It don't change who I am. I'm out here trying to do the Lord's work. Staying out of prison is one of those things that I'm trying to do. So, with that being said, let's find out what the jail is going to be like later.
Welcome to Cognify, a facility designed to treat criminals like patients. Instead of spending years in an actual prison cell, prisoners could finish their sentence here in just a few minutes. Cognify could someday create and implant artificial memories directly into the prisoner's brain.
Yo, hold up. This is going to be a long video, probably. So number one, I geek out on science. Number two, well, actually, I should probably say when I first started going to college and my first job out of the military, I was working for the mental health unit of a hospital in Chicago. And so psychology has always fascinated me. And I know anyone in their 20s, you're going to go to college and you're going to want to be a psychologist and all that stuff. Everybody does, and it's fine. But the good news there is that you're trying to understand how other people communicate. And a lot of the problems that we have right now is isolation and people getting overworked and all that stuff, right? So, it's getting close. So, a lot of the problems that we have today are, or mental health problems that we have today, are because we are doing things that humans aren't ready for mentally. And so, you'll see the social media and everything that's just bombarding you nonstop. It's making everyone edgy and everyone feels like things just aren't going their way. But the only way to fix that is to communicate. That's why we live in a democracy. We have to communicate to figure out the best way to do things. Everyone thinks that this is the way you're supposed to do it, and I'm the only one to fix things and all this other stuff, but they're basing everything off of old rules. The rules have changed. Rules have changed. We can see things instantaneously. You know, we used to waste time going to different people's houses only to find out that they weren't there. Instead of like now we can send texts. That's time that we can use to do something else with our time. Me, I choose to watch videos and make animations and talk to you guys or talk at you guys. But you know, the comments are open. You see me, I'm active in the comments. Whether or not you agree with me, whether or not you want to, pick a fight, whatever, I'm here for it. That's why I make these things. I know I have thought it out and I have come to the conclusion that it is Much better for us as a community, as a nation, for me to sit here and share my thoughts with you. So hopefully you can learn something. And then in turn, you turn back around if you learn even more, or if I'm doing something or saying something that is incorrect, you can correct me in the comments. But all of this stuff that, there's a bunch of dum-dums on a couple videos that are saying, just, throwing tantrums because you don't agree with my point of view. Well, that's part of the problem. And doesn't it suck to not be heard? Doesn't it suck? Even worse, doesn't it suck to not be represented? All that to say, what they're saying here in science, as far as science goes and everything, if your thought process, if you have gone through something as a child or whatever during your path, during your life's path, you have gone through something like maybe poverty. Poverty may give you the excuse to want to go and steal something because you're tired of working hard and not getting anything. And you're tired of working hard. And you're tired of all the complaining. And you're tired of your house looking like crap. And then you go and you take matters into your own hands. What they're saying is, instead of spending your entire life in a prison and wasting away, the prison industrial complex, whatever, all that stuff, all these people making money off of people being there, this is actually proposing that they'll go through, and while you're sleeping, it's going to go through and, brainwash you. That's the fastest way to get to that point. The fastest way to get to that point is they want to brainwash you into thinking a certain way, which is to not go steal stuff, even though maybe you're hungry, And this is a reality for me because I can see, if we're standing on point A and we need to get to point C, point B in this story, point B is, what's that Elon Musk? I forget his brain company. The one where they have the chip and the guy is paralyzed from the neck down. They have a chip and now he's interacting with a computer. That one, that's what they're moving towards. It's not hard. This is not a stretch. This is not sci-fi. This is, you can see those points but you can see the path starting to develop.
Vivid and lifelike memories are created in real time using AI-generated content. Depending on the seriousness of the subject's crime and their sentence, the memories could be tailored to the rehabilitation needs of each subject. The artificial memories implanted by Cognify would be seamlessly
Demolition Man. If you guys want to watch a really good movie that has this in it, Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. That is such a good movie. Everything. Like, if you want to see Tomorrow, go watch that movie. They got everything in there. From the Oculus Rift to the video phone calls to the prisons where they're like messing with your brain and they have them. But here they're talking about they're going to change you in a few minutes, whatever. Whereas in Demolition Man, they had you in a cryo chamber, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, interesting.
Incorporated into the existing neural networks of the brain, preventing cognitive dissonance and ensuring the subject experiences the memories as if they were real. The Cognify concept offers a new approach to criminal rehabilitation, transforming how society deals with offenders by focusing on rehabilitation rather than punishment. First, the prisoner is given a choice, either spending tens of years in a prison cell or seeking fast-track rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation. If the prisoner chooses to undergo fast-track rehabilitation, the Cognify device is used. Next, the prisoner undergoes high-resolution brain scanning to create a detailed map of their neural pathways. This brain map helps guide the Cognify device to target specific brain regions responsible for memory, reasoning, and logical thinking, such as the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, amygdala, parietal lobe, and anterior cingulate cortex. Once the target brain regions are identified, Cognify is then placed around the head of the prisoner. The intensity and the type of artificial memories is then adjusted depending on the crime. Inside the criminal's mind, time would pass differently.
This is a mixture between Matrix, Demolition Man, and Minority Report. And we're there, kids. Like, they know a lot about brains. They know a lot about signals and connecting like inanimate objects. Like, it's really cool. Science is really cool. You know, they got folks with like these mechanical arms and they can control them without a remote control, you know, just like through your mental pathways and whatever nerve endings you have available, you know. Now they're having like these half robot people, not half robot, you know what I mean? Like, they have these guys, these folks with like these metal arms being able to pick things up and do things, you know. Science is incredible.
Lower than in real life, making them experience years' worth of artificial memories in just a few minutes. Synthetic
Here's some
memories are
puppies.
customized depending on the crime committed and the unique brain structure and psychological profile of the individual. Violent offenders could experience memories that are designed to trigger empathy and remorse, seeing their crime from the perspective of their victim, feeling their pain and suffering firsthand.
But we know for a fact that you can do that. This is why I think we need to leave this stuff alone. Because showing people and making people feel the same thing that their victims felt, I don't know if that's going to teach them. Because your brain and the chemicals that your body is creating all the time, all of those memories, all of those experiences are what make you and what help develop your decision-making process. So having two people experience something as traumatic as whatever it is that they are doing or not doing here, whatever this 3D guy did, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know. Again, I'm not a all the way scientist. I'm not a scientist at all. I do like science experiments and research and stuff like that, but it's just not my thing. I'm an animator. But yeah, I still don't think that I don't know. We'd have to do way more research on this. Like, oh, hey, traumatic person, here's let's compound your issues with more traumatic stuff. I don't know.
Some memories are designed to trigger consequences and trauma. Such memories could simulate the long-term consequences of violent actions, such as the grief of the victim's family or the physical and emotional trauma endured by the victim. Artificial memories could cover a wide range of crimes, including domestic violence, hate crimes and discrimination, embezzlement, insider trading, theft and fraud. Cognify
Literally all of those things happen in Washington, D.C. So instead of prisons, why don't we start there? If you want to be a part of the government, but then, yeah, that's a pathway to letting the machines take over. And that's where Matrix happens. I don't get it, you guys.
regulation system could modulate neurotransmitters and hormones to induce specific emotional states, such as remorse or regret, which is crucial for rehabilitation.
And some people don't feel that. Like, I hate to have him just keep popping up on stuff, but let's say like this. There are people that we know that don't feel regret. They don't feel embarrassment. They don't feel responsibility. And even if they do, maybe they hightail it away from responsibility. I don't know. I'm not into this. I'm not into this at all. All of this because you don't want to invest in education. If you teach people and give people enough support so where they find their balance and then they take off and go and exceed, that has to be cheaper than all this shit. So instead of enabling people and educating people, they would rather you strap on this head thing and they're going to brainwash you into some bullshit.
Real-time monitoring and feedback mechanisms could track the prisoner's neural responses throughout the process, allowing the system to adapt and optimize the rehabilitation in real time with new visuals, sensation, and realistic AI-generated content. To ensure the long-term effect of the therapy session, the memories could become permanent, fully integrated.
So then my question for you is this. If you can do this in a couple minutes and someone knows and they're strapped in and all that stuff, what's the difference between how they're shaping culture and they're shaping your brain when you do Oculus or when you, for that matter, watch the news and watch TV and you know what I mean? Like what they're doing right now is admitting to the fact that they know how to brainwash you. And now they've optimized it. Interesting.
The subject's mind, as if they were part of their own personal experiences. While subjects are undergoing therapy session, valuable data are collected from all the prisoners into a central computer for scientific research, which will help understand the criminal mind and determine the best approach to tackle crimes in society. AI-driven analytics could enhance the device's functionality, optimizing future procedures based on gathered data and insights. Cognify could feature encrypted storage for sensitive prisoner information and rehabilitation data. A compact and portable design would allow Cognify to be used anywhere in the world. It would be constructed with durable materials to withstand frequent use. Its energy-efficient design would ensure long operational life, reducing the need for frequent recharges. It would have the ability to integrate seamlessly with other prison systems, like security cameras and biometric identification. Once the therapy session is concluded, family members of the subject could be provided with a comprehensive report on the new artificial memories that have been implanted, offering them a chance to adjust to the subject's new, positive personality traits. The subject is then released back into society to start a new life away from crimes. The Cognify concept could revolutionize the criminal justice system by significantly
Hey, why's everybody got tattoos? What are you trying to say?
reducing the need for long-term incarceration and its associated costs. Traditional prisons require substantial budgets for construction, maintenance, staffing, and prisoner care, including food, healthcare, and rehabilitation programs. By replacing extended prison sentences with brief, intensive rehabilitation through artificial memory implantation, the costs of maintaining prison facilities and supporting inmates could be drastically lowered. The funds saved from reduced incarceration.
Okay, let's say you had, I'm trying to think if I should wait for after for the wrap up to talk about this, but nah. Let's say that you had a Spanish dude. You had a Latino who was coming up in the streets and he made a couple bad decisions and he got busted for violent crime. Let's say he attempted murder. Let's just say something like that. Let's say he tried to get into some attempted murder. And then he signed up for this. And then they fill him up with all this happy, happy, joy, joy. He's going to be out in the streets again, living with his family like he was before. But now he's got a record. Now he still has to find the same job in the same environment with the same people making the same decisions and the same politicians not investing in his education or his potential. He might have a cheery outlook, but this will be the kind of guy, like there's a difference. There's a difference. Let's get in here. People that don't see your potential and instead move towards a more efficient way of doing things, and they're not worried about you, and they're not paying for, well, actually, we're paying taxes, so they're not spending the money on your education, but we got our business all out in the streets. We all in Ukraine and in the Middle East and in Europe, and we're all over the place. And now we want to go mess around with Greenland and all this stuff, right? They're not finding ways to educate you. They're finding ways to piss you off. So then that way you can get distracted. We need to invest in education because in education unleashes people's fullest potential. People that don't invest in you, you should not invest in them. So you need to start voting in a way and getting people in office that are going to do what you say. This is a democracy. They work for you. You tell them what to do. They have you thinking that they were voted in so they get to make the decisions. No, you speak for us. This is what we think. Then you have to be careful with this shit because they fill your brain up with all kinds of dumb shit. And let me tell you, I live in California. You will find a harder person to have a good time with. But they have you convinced that because I live in California, that I'm crazy. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here telling you, we as a nation need to invest in education more than anything else. Because I have no problem disagreeing with you. But when your all the points that of argument that you bring to me are the same shit that I see on TV, that I see on some YouTube videos, all that stuff. We need to be better. Because I will always say, okay, even if you're right, okay, how do we fix it? You guys said Trump. Now here we are. Now what do we do? He's angering everyone. And they're telling you about the prisons of the future instead of the schools of the future. Instead of investing in you so you can make your environment better, in turn making the nation better, they're telling you about prisons and shit. I'm a brown guy. Never been in jail, not one day. None of this shit interests me at all. None of it. None of it. As a child, I was surrounded by these guys. And I never once found this shit attractive. But because I come from that, I understand it better. Because I come from this, I understand it better. So you might see someone who's violent and makes wrong decisions. I see like my cousin who got caught in a bad way. I grew up around people that like this, and everything would have been different if they didn't have to make the difficult decision. Do I make this bad decision and feed my family, or do I make a good decision and everybody goes hungry? And you continue to pick fights around the world, and you say, make America great again, and no one is investing in education. How are they making your life better? How? And I don't even give a shit. If you want to take and get rid of the Department of Education, as long as they're investing in the state education, I give a shit. We need to be educated because they're tricking you on dumb shit. And they're continuing to sell you on dumb shit. It's all dumb. Trump shoes and Trump coins and the Doge coins and all that stuff doesn't say shit to you getting better and smarter. The more educated we are, the more we can communicate, and the more we communicate, the better it is for everyone. It's not harder than that. It's not any harder than that. Stop letting people talk you into some bullshit, dude. Stop letting people talk to you into some bullshit. This is someone's brother. This is someone's father. You're breaking up families and shit like that. And this is colorblind. There's a lot of people in jail. There's a lot of families that are all busted up. I don't know what needs to happen for you guys to stop But again, they're talking about brainwashing you in a matter of a couple minutes. Meanwhile, they've been brainwashing you to think dumb shit about colored people. They've been brainwashing you for years. Ever since TV came out, they've been leveraging it. And even more than that, they've been brainwashing you on some dumb shit for a very long time. And now they're telling you that they can make it in a couple minutes. Take this shit and go to all those the Nazis and the white supremacists and shit like that. Let's test it out on them. Let's hook them up on this and make them forget all that dumb shit that they were told, that black and brown people ain't shit. Take all of those ignorant motherfuckers and line them up to this thing. Hook them up to this, and let's see how it goes. Because if people aren't talking to you like that, like, hey, the content of your character, not the color of your skin, all of that stuff, if you don't co-sign to that, you should be hooked up to this. Straighten that ass out. Because you guys are ignorant sometimes. There's some of you out there, they just come up with some ignorant shit.
Recidivism rates could be reallocated to other critical areas. These might include education, healthcare, infrastructure development, social.
Or you can invest in that already. Or you can invest in that. Is that what he was saying? Or are they saying, oh, all the stuff, all these impressive people are then going to be able to help that? How about we do it before they go to jail? How about we invest in the education and all that shit before they go to jail?
Lowered. The funds saved from reduced incarceration and recidivism rates could be reallocated to other critical areas. These might include education, healthcare, infrastructure development, social welfare programs, or research and development initiatives that benefit society as a whole. By rehabilitating offenders more quickly, Cognify could enable them to reintegrate into society sooner and contribute to the workforce. This increased productivity could boost the...
To get them back into the workforce. Ain't that a shit? Ain't that a bitch? I'm so frustrated my bad words are coming out wrong. We're not going to educate you, but we're going to let you go to jail. And then after you go to jail, we're going to educate you so you can go back to work. Instead of just educating them so they can get to work.
And generate tax revenue, further offsetting the initial investment in such technology. Successful rehabilitation through Cognify could lead to safer communities, reduced crime rates, and improved social well-being. This could have far-reaching positive impacts on individuals, families, and society as a whole, contributing to a more stable and prosperous future. Apart from treating criminals, Cognify could also be used to treat severe memory loss by helping patients recall their past.
What's that movie? I'm trying to remember. There's another movie where you'd go in and then you can go pretend to be something else and dudes are getting spanked and stuff. That's what they're lining you up for. What movie was that? I'll think about it.
Memories. It could also treat patients with PTSD by implanting positive memories that replace the negative ones.
Start with these white supremacists. Start with these Klanmen. Start with these Nazis. Start over there. Start over there. Because I bet you if you started cleaning up some of these dumbass decision-making processes that are racist and stuff like that, and everyone starts looking at you like looking at your potential instead of the color of your face, start there. And then let people make a living. Let people earn a living. Let people provide for their family. How are you trying to build prisons and you haven't built the proper foundation for people to be successful? Boy. And now they're selling visas and shit, passports to people that can $5 million. We're gonna be in trouble with a bunch of rich, law-breaking ass. Oh Lord. All right. Well, those are prisons of the future. I don't understand. What do I? Let me know in the comments. What am I missing? Instead of investing in education and setting people up for success, they want you to go into jail to then be educated, to then go out and be productive, I guess. This is wild. This is wild. This is so many of our sci-fi movies coming true. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with each and every one of your friends. And if you want to come hang out with me, watch videos while I work on creative projects, hit that subscribe button and then change the bell icon for it to say all. That way, every time I come up with something new, you'll be alerted. Don't forget to go to coconutjustice.com to get some dope gear. And with that, I'm out.